Hello, I'm Judy Stiles. Thank you for joining us this week on Newsmakers. Well, this week we're taking a look at a local business helping other businesses and our community, Joplin Workshops. And joining me, we have Ron Sampson, the Executive Director, and Ron Pence, Board President. Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
The next half hour or so, we're going to talk about the services and how you help the community, but perhaps we need to start at the beginning with people with a little bit of background. When you say Joplin Workshops, what are we talking about? How do you define that if somebody comes up to you and says, well, what are you? How does it work?
Over the years, Joplin Workshops was founded in 1966, and it was called the Joplin Sheltered Workshop at that time. Well, over the years, they've taken the sheltered name out to make it more like a business and give our people more feeling like they're out in the community and working, and it's allowed them to feel more like they are more in the community than what the sheltered part made them feel like.
So 1966, the area started here in Joplin?
Yes, there was a group of family members that wanted to put their children to work, and they had passed a law for the sheltered workshops through the state, so they're certified through the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education that allows them to be a not-for-profit business, but they had to have at least 15 employees. They started out in 1966 by doing parents and friends refurnishing furniture for people.
So different tasks when you started what you're doing today. The area served, Ron, people might be curious, well, you're in Joplin, but how big of an area do you serve?
Well, we really try to stay right here in, Jasper County with maybe an occasional Newton County or just outside the area to come in. I mean, there are other sheltered workshops in the area, such as, there's one at Crowder in Neosho, there's Innovative Industries in Carthage. So, there are others that we work with, but they take some of the people to them. Right.
So obviously you have grown tremendously since 1966.
Yes,
your development throughout the years. The program that you have, you're employing people that you have had for many years. Probably some of these people have had long-term employment with you.
Yes, ma'am. We're kind of proud, and if you ever come to our shop and visit, you'll notice one of our employees is one of the original 15 employees that started in 1966. And they did an article on her a few years back in Grace magazine, and it was real interesting. And we employ a lot of the people in the Joplin metro area. That's pretty well our boundaries.
Right. So do you have a growing workforce? So does it pretty stable, or does it depend on the jobs?
It's pretty stable. We're fortunate there. I have to tell you, I came out of private industry in 1993 and started doing this, and it's probably the most rewarding job I've ever had in my life. They come to work kind of like the mailman, whether it's snowing, raining, or sleeting. They want to come to work, and it makes you proud to have people like that.
So it makes a lot of pride for
very
the workers
dedicated,
and pride for the company as well. And Ron, as the board president, people might be curious about the role of the board and how you work with the management of the workshop.
Well, we're there to provide just some support and guidance more than anything else. We have several people who have areas of expertise that are on our board that can help with HR, with legal issues, banking issues. Most of us that, like for myself being a banker, we have customers that maybe we can introduce to become customers of the workshop, and so that's what we try to provide.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the business side of things. It would be people that you're serving, different business services that you have. I noticed when I looked at your website, you have Mid-America Solutions. How do you define that for people?
Well, Mid-America Solutions is a business enterprise of Joplin Workshops. It's our assembly, packaging, kind of a small third-party logistics business. We do all kinds of assembly, packaging, mailings, brochures, really just about anything that folks don't want to do in their own business, and they don't want to take the time because it's repetitive, mundane work, and our folks are real good at the repetitive day in, day out type work.
Hey, well, I know we have some video that some of our students here at KGCS TV at Missouri Southern recorded. So while we're talking here in this program, we can take a look. We can see our first shot facility. People might want to know, where are you at in Joplin?
We are located at 5th and School, And the Mid-America Solutions, that's the warehouse, and it's on the Michigan side. We own the whole block from 5th Street to 6th Street to School to Michigan. These folks here are repackaging and rebundling all sport drink for a company out of Waco, Texas.
Okay.
We do about 2 tractor-trailer loads of those a week.
So the bottles basically come in, I guess, loose, and then you get them ready to ship back out to the
The
customers.
bottles come in the cases, but they're all one flavor, and we convert them into a rainbow pack.
Okay.
Instead of having all orange or all blue raz or all strawberry, we make it into this colorful rainbow pack.
And these are produced locally then, so somebody in Joplin company.
These are produced over at Cott in Webb City.
So they come to you and you help them finish kind of the end of the line process of getting their
And then
product
we
ready for the
ship
market.
them to wherever our customer wants them shipped to.
And we have some people working in a room here, looks like with paper, mailing.
These are ingredient labels that go on the bread packages for General Mills.
Okay. So they have,
And we do several of those a month also.
so General
I
Mills.
think our
thing.
contract's for like $700,000 for the year.
And then here's sorting some materials.
These folks here are building hardware kits for Lozier manufacturing. We do all of Lozier manufacturing hardware kits. These are Moisture Guard, and that is for Tamco. We label those, and then we run them through a shrink tunnel and put them in their master cartons and ship those out.
So quite a variety of tasks and things that people can do, hands-on
Right.
work with what you're doing. And the laundry facilities, which I know you also have healthcare linen specialists.
Right, and this is just another business enterprise. We do all the area medical centers. We do all the Mercy hospitals. We do Landmark, Via Christi, Girard, Miami Integris, several doctors and clinic offices.
And when you think of the scope of the number of medical facilities, I imagine this really keeps them busy.
It really keeps them busy. We work 6 days a week, 10 hours a day in there.
So from start to finish, they bring in the dirties, they come back out
Right.
clean and ready to go back to them.
We pick up and deliver it all.
In which we're seeing the trucks, so you
Right.
supply the shipping for the people to get those.
We have 9 delivery vehicles.
So you have staff that helps with the
Yes,
delivery
sir.
side of things as
Yeah.
well, and tying that together. So let's talk about how this helps the businesses. For instance, obviously the hospitals, they don't have to worry about having on-site laundry facilities. They're
Correct.
able to send them to you.
Correct. Via Christi is a prime example. We helped them move their laundry out of their facility, and we took their laundry in. And it also frees up space for them to use for other things besides the laundry. Also frees up staff of theirs to be able to do other things besides fold linen or get linen ready.
And Ron, do you find that this is an important aspect for businesses? That we hear so much about people looking at cost control these days. If they can reduce those types of jobs and have someone else help them?
Absolutely, because I mean, if a company needs to expand, it's expensive for space. And so if we can take space that they're using for something like this, transfer it to us, and then open up space for them without them having to make a more major investment.
And you have the equipment already there to handle these jobs.
Yes.
And tying that together. So you have the large hospitals. You also handle smaller clinics and so forth.
Yes, ma'am. We do all several clinics. We do some things over at the Ortho of the 4 States. Several doctors. We do 32nd Street surgery.
So when you were saying medical linens, you're dealing with all the sheets, but it would be the scrubs and things. I mean,
Right.
right.
And that is all we do. We don't do any personal items. We strictly do what we call healthcare linen, and that's just everything that goes for the care of the patients.
Right. So then they're brought back on a daily basis, then
Yes,
you bring
ma'am.
them back the clean materials
Yes.
and working together. Let's talk some more about some of the other tests that we saw. We saw some of the packaging, and those were just a couple of samples, but we saw the shrink wrapping, that aspect. A lot of opportunities when it comes to packaging items for people then.
Yes, we again, we package for Tamco, and we do several different types of packages for them. There are several different types of this Moisture Guard and this type of rolls. We do all of those your hardware kits, and there are several of those, along with some what they call brackets, and then we got some feet levelers that they call them. We've got Wadner Manufacturing out of Galena, Kansas. We make their woe stops, assemble those for them, Everything is drop shipped into us, and we do the inventory for him. He comes over about once every 6 months and checks the inventory. And they send us the orders online, and we ship them all over the world out here.
So after you're finished with these products, they're going to the customers?
Yes, ma'am. They ship directly to them.
So there's no going back to the plant or the company that's making these?
The Tamco goes back to the plant on the moisture guard type stuff, but the sales samples go back to their marketing group.
And they ship them out from there.
Right.
I might add that we also have the ability to do unpackaging, which would mean we've had customers in the past actually ship product that they've purchased overseas that's going to be built and reassembled here, that they bring it, ship it directly to us. We take all the packaging off of it and everything, put it back together, and then they just come by and pick up a pallet that's ready to go. Because if you're going to ship something internationally, it's usually got lots and lots of packaging on it. And so our people are very good at that and taking things apart like that. And it saves their regular employees from having to do something that may be a little mundane.
Right, because anybody that even buys anything over the internet, you get a box and it has so much padding and so much packaging in something. I can imagine manufacturers have that same situation, that the little items wrapped inside a big box, you have to get to that.
We have 2 customers that their product comes from China. One of them is called Evergreen Outdoor Products out of Mountain Home, Arkansas. And it's normally boat seats and fishing equipment. And they come in the containers, and we unload them, again, do the inventory, let him know what the inventory is, was it right that we're supposed to get, and then we ship that out wherever he wants it to go. Then we have another company that does all pet products called Bergen Experience out of Monkey Island, Oklahoma. And we do a tremendous amount of repackaging and packaging for them.
So the options are what businesses are looking for. They really have a lot of options for people. And you're saying you're helping the local businesses, the packaging. What about special skills? You have people that can handle certain equipment and do special skills as well.
We have people that, we have drill presses, and we have saws, and we don't have any of the broaching or the big machining equipment, but any small task, any small drilling, we can do.
Now, does job training come in with this, Ron? When someone is hired, do assessing their ability to handle the machinery, or do they work their way up to certain skills as they're employed?
We actually test them to try to see what their level of experience is and what their level of ability is, and then that's the real key, is trying to match that with a specific job. But we do spend a lot of time trying to educate and train and get them to where they have the skills to do different things.
Now, have you seen employees move to different tasks throughout the facility?
And again, as you asked, they do progress. They do go from just being able to assemble the screws and nuts together up to be able to do some drilling, up to maybe, doing the press, up to even driving fork trucks. Because our fork trucks are driven by disabled people. So they come along, and the goal of the workshop, my goal and the board's goal, is that people could go out to the FAGs, out to the Logiers, out to the Tamcos, out to the restaurants, out to the hospitals, and work in competitive employment if they chose to do that. So what we train them to do, all the work habits, the lunches, the breaks, behaviors, and their training for tasks they can do, is really to help them to go out into what folks call competitive employment.
So integrate into the workforce with those jobs that the people are doing in those areas. Have you had a number of success stories, people who have done that then?
I would like to tell you that we've had a number of success stories. Over the years that I've been there, we maybe have had 5 people that have been able to go out and stay. Sometimes they just want to come back. The workshop is their part of their social life.
It's a community in itself.
It's a community in itself, and
it's their peers.
And they miss. If you take someone that really could, the laundry is kind of a progressive step. It takes higher capability folks to work in the laundry. So once somebody has made that progress, you say, Johnny, do you want to go to the laundry? We need somebody over there. No. I want to stay here and work by Jeff or Jim or Susan.
Their friends are there. Their
friends are there, and they've been with them for years. And they don't want to do that.
Well, that's human nature, the comfort factor.
Right.
People like the familiarity and working together. Do you find this helping, looking at your people who are working there, building their self-esteem as well? Have you seen people who come in and maybe a little hesitant at first, but personally, without maybe giving names, but how that has changed their life?
Yes. We've had some, and what you would call really shy folks, that they were real skeptical about could they do it, did they want to do it, and you could tell you could see the fear of, am I going to succeed, am I not going to, and we've seen a lot of those folks come out of their shell, and then we've seen some that were out of their shell that really kind of learned to back down some. So we like to think we help with the behaviors and the way that they've acted, for a number of years, by having them where they're in with people that are helping them. The employees help each other, and it's a great deal.
So it's really a peer support system.
Yes,
they're not just
it
friends,
really
they're
is.
supporting each other and working together as a team.
If somebody's slow, that one sitting next to them's helping them.
So they're going to pitch
You
in.
may not, they're not supposed to, but they will.
Right. They know they're working on this project together.
Because if I'm not doing this, I'm not making any money. You're not moving fast enough. Let me help you.
Yeah, we're going to make this as a team effort.
Right.
Ron, as board director, the feedback that you get from not only the people who are employed, but maybe families and so forth, seeing the difference this makes for them.
Well, this is an important thing for a family, because if you are dealing with people who have issues, it can be draining on a family. And in many cases, gives the family a chance to take a breath, get away from it for a little bit, and then re-energize so that when they get off work, they're back ready to do. And the families that I've talked to have all been just extremely supportive of what we're trying to accomplish, and of the success that their family feels while they're there.
So the families are noticing the difference in
Yes.
their family member who's going through the program. And do you find that sense of pride that perhaps your employees bring home to share with their family? I'm going to let them know what I did today.
Right, and they do that. As your film crew probably saw yesterday, they really enjoy having people come and visit and see what they do. They want to show them what they do. And I've had a number of parents call me and say, Johnny said they did this today, and I don't really believe that. And well, yes, Johnny did that today, and he did real good at it. So they didn't want to not support him, but they thought, oh, he could never have done that, or she could never have done that.
And so they're seeing those accomplishments.
So they see those accomplishments.
And
yes.
tying that together. Of course, we're trying to share news with the community about opportunities. If someone who has a business is interested in maybe having some of those tasks handled by your employees, how do they go about contacting you? What's the procedure if somebody says, well, I do have somebody back there in shipping who has to unpack everything or has to wrap everything up to go? How do they start that process?
Well, they can call us, and our phone number is 417-781-2862. And anybody that answers that phone will help, but they can call us, they can look at our website, they can contact us that way. They can also email us at jworkshops@jworkshops.com. And we will invite them over, or we will go to their place of business. A lot of times it helps for potential customers, even if I have to go there first, is to get them into the shop, really to see how much we can really do. I mean, it's kind of one thing for me to go tell someone at their business, well, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. But if they can get over and see that we can do this, this, and this. So that's the best way to do it, is to just call us or email us or look at our website. I mean, we're located at 5th School, so right across from Ewart Park. And
Come in and see
come in and
firsthand.
see them firsthand.
And now,
We would love to be able to offer a tour every day to a new customer.
now, are a lot of your jobs short-term, or somebody might have a job that's good, they have to get these products out the door and it'll be finished by November or something like that?
We have those, and the thing that we promote is that we are really, truly a just-in-time business.
Oh,
If someone has a product they want to get done, and some of our long-term customers will need something done in a couple of days, we can put 50 people on that job.
You have the staff there.
We have the staff there to be able to, maybe stop something that's not so critical and put as many people on that job as we need to and get it out in a couple of days for them.
Right.
And we pride ourselves in that, and some of our customers know that.
That you're able to accomplish
Right.
that for them. Of course, businesses might be curious as far as the costs involved. Is there a hourly fee? I mean, without getting into the details, I'm sure every job is different, but somebody, well, what does it cost for me to use these services?
For simply packaging and those type jobs, everything is quoted by the piece,
Okay.
or by the case, or by the pallet. Laundry is quoted by clean weight pound process.
Okay. So they can find out that
Right.
costs and compare it to what their internal costs would be, as you mentioned earlier.
Right.
Because every job is different, and every job doesn't cost as much to do as the more intricate jobs cost.
When we talk about costs, obviously you have the aspect of keeping the business operating as a nonprofit organization. That's probably, every nonprofit has those challenges. So continuing business is probably crucial for you to be able to keep people employed, keep the doors open.
Well, and our business is we've got 55,000 square foot on the roof. Excuse me. So the utilities are quite expensive, and all of the governmental regulations.
Right.
We have to do just like anybody else.
You have
Any other
safety
business.
regulations to
We have
follow
all
and
the
things.
safety regulations, all the EPA standards, all the OSHA standards, and then all the licenses for the trucks. It's quite a bit to keep up with and pay for.
Right. So if someone were to ask you after this program, they meet you and they say, are you recruiting new businesses, new customers right now? Ron, what would you say?
I would say absolutely we are. We're the type of business that we're in the people business. And some of the things that we compete with are in manufacturing. They're able to buy machines that can do things more than our people can. And that's not our goal. So it doesn't help us to go buy a machine if it doesn't employ the people. So we're at a balancing act there of trying to find things that can be done and be done more efficiently than machinery can do it, but at the same time keep people employed. We could throw money at it all day long, but if we don't have jobs for the people to do, then there's no point in them being there.
Now, if there are a number of jobs that come up that increases the demand, do you have employees that you go through a process of hiring and finding new people to help fill those jobs?
Yes, and again, we have a waiting list, and then we'll look at the waiting list and see what type of job we have coming in, or what type of job we need, and is it long-term or short-term? And then we'll try to call in the people that would work in those jobs.
Okay, so once again, matching the job to the
Right.
person and the skills that you need along those areas. Well, I know both of you have been associated with workshops for quite a while. Personal aspect, what do you enjoy the most? You've been there since the 1990s and working. What do you enjoy the most working there?
I believe it's in employees. They're so dedicated, and they like what they're doing. They want to be there. They don't have to be there if they don't want to be. And they're just they're fun, and they're happy. A lot of people might come on a tour and say, "What did you do?" Paste the smiles on them, but it's that way every day.
You enjoy it.
Because they enjoy it, and they enjoy, again, people coming to see them. So I think it's just been. I've had a number of workforces in my lifetime, but this has probably been the most rewarding.
Working with the people.
Working with the people, because they try so hard.
And Ron, what about your perspective?
I have been so blessed to be able to have two boys who are healthy, intelligent, and this is my way of kind of giving back to the community, to those who haven't been as blessed as I've been. And it's something that I look forward to walk through and see them. And it's like he said, their faces just light up when anybody walks through paying attention to them.
And as a board member or board director, do you occasionally look for new members on the board side or volunteers to help out along those lines?
Absolutely, we do. Most times it's word of mouth that people are coming to us by. It's somebody that knows somebody who's either working at the workshop or is on our board or something like that, that they usually approach us first.
Right.
Because it's hard for us just to go out and recruit.
You can't knock on doors and say, come join us, right? So a lot of people who know about you and supporting you, that
Right.
must be really appreciated for you, not only as the person who's helping run the operation, but for the employees as well, knowing that there's a lot of community support like this.
Yeah, and the employees know it. I mean, they know that the community's behind them.
And tying it together. Well, I know we've talked about briefly at the beginning of the program where you are and how to get in touch with you, but in case someone tuned in late, let's remind them how they can reach you and where you're at.
They can call us at, we're located at 5th and School.
Mm-hmm. Over by the pool,
Over
Ewart
by
Park.
the pool, right across from the old Carver Nursery. Mm-hmm. And we're on that block. Our administration building is on the corner of 5th and School.
Okay.
And our phone number is 417-781-2862. Our website is www.jworkshops.com.
Okay.
And the
J
email
Workshops at, yes.
Yeah, and then your email, if you wanted to send you an email.
is jworkshops@jworkshops.com.
Okay. All right. So a number of ways to get in touch with you, and you welcome
Right.
people, businesses to stop by and say, we'd like to see what you can do for us.
Yes.
They don't have to make an appointment for us to give them a
They
tour.
can just knock on the door.
Hours of operation? If people, when can we come by? When can we call?
It's probably good to call between 8 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
We are open from 7:30 to 4:30, but most of those first 30 minutes and last 30 minutes are pretty hectic.
All right. I imagine getting the jobs together
Right.
for the day and wrapping
Yes.
things up at the end of the day and tying that out. Well, I'd like to thank both of you for visiting today, providing information for our audience.
Well, Judy, we'd like to thank you for having us.
Well, you're welcome.
Absolutely, thank you.
You're welcome. And I'd like to thank you, the viewers, for joining us this week for Newsmakers. I'm Judy Stiles. I hope you can see us again next week at the same time on this station. We'll see you then.